Hey, what's up, Lapeer? Hashtag here. It's been a minute. I've mentioned that I'm kind of going through some stuff. I'm doing very well, actually, but content's a little slow right now. However, it is going to pick up uh, at a very strong pace, hopefully sooner than later. For the first time today, I'm covering Mayfield Township. I want to begin by giving a shout out. I think it's Fight for the First Lapeer that records these, so I want to give them credit. Um, but it's uh, the meeting that I think took place on February 9th, and I broke it into a few clips. Pretty intense at times. So it begins with public time. A woman named Leslie gets up and she discusses a lot, but two things in particular caught my attention. The first is a comment she makes regarding the township treasurer, Dan Frisch, being absent for a lot of meetings. And this gets echoed later by another person during public comments. Now, I have to say, Mayfield Township, politics, government, brand new to me. So all I'm doing is watching this meeting and sharing with you some of the highlights and trying to make sense of it. I'm looking forward to any comments that help me to do so. Big on accountability in government right now. You're going to see me talk more about state government. You're going to see me talk more about the federal government. That may not be what you want, but that's what I want, and that's where I'm headed. So I'm still going to make sure, though, it's local first, right? And I consider Mayfield Township local. So I don't know. I don't know the deal with the treasurer, what he has going on, but it seems like he's been missing a lot of meetings, and that is worth mentioning for sure. And then there's a back and forth between Miss Getz and Miss Carol Brown, who apparently was appointed to the uh, library board. She's the Mayfield Township appointee to the Lapeer District Library, and Ms. Getz was unhappy with some of the questions that Ms. Brown asked during the interview process that led to the hiring of the new director, Stephen Bannister. And I think I have this all right. So uh, maybe not, but watch this clip and correct me where I'm wrong.
Public time, we have for public time, go ahead.
This has been, Leslie Getz, Mayfield Township, obviously. This has been brought up at a number of meetings, and it's beyond time to take action. Out of 14 Mayfield Township board meetings in 2025, Treasurer Frisch has missed 9 of them. He's been absent for 64% of the meetings. That's not even taking into consideration what office hours he may or may not have put in. Under Michigan law, this is considered misconduct in office. It is also a breach of fiduciary duty, which can lead to personal liability, financial recovery from their bond, or even criminal charges for willful neglect of duty. The board can vote to compel the attendance of any officer, including the treasurer. Persistent absence is serious, undermining board function and fiduciary responsibility to the township's residents. By failing to address Treasurer Frisch's absence, every member of this board is complicit in undermining the board's ability to perform its duties. I compel you to take action to rectify this situation. And I perfectly understand that there may be personal issues that I'm not aware of, but through the course of last year and now obviously continuing into this year, he's not able to perform his duties and something needs to be done. There are also a number of other issues that need attention, including, have you considered working with the health department to plan a policy regarding possible development of a data center within the township, being proactive about that? Zoning for the Dragway property per Judge Nolan's ruling. Nothing's been done that I'm aware of. Hiring of office staff without board approval. What are the hiring procedures and policies? Tax payments apparently being taken by someone who says she was not bonded and was working as a volunteer at the time. The township website is still not secure and leaves computers open to being hacked. Is the airport in the red financially? I heard a rumor about that. And why don't we have an airport board? Mayfield Township appointee to the Lapeer District Library Board continues to demonstrate her incompetence by asking blatantly illegal questions during the job interview. And I'd appreciate it if someone on the board could get back with me about those issues. Thank you.
The library board has hired a new director, Stephen Bannister. He's gonna start February 23rd. He was up here last weekend checking things out and was able to find a home to rent. He lives in Tennessee now. He's moving up here. He's well qualified and will serve our district library well. You may have seen in the paper or heard through the grapevine that I voted no on his hiring. It wasn't because of him, it was because of the way it was done. The board meeting to vote on his hiring, I had 5 to 10 minutes to look over the contract. I didn't feel that was adequate time for me. I like to look things over 2 or 3 times to let it sink in. So that's why I voted no. It was because I wanted more time to look at the contract. And the salary also, I think the last director's salary was $105,000. This one, he was offered $140,000, and then after some paperwork issues are updated or whatever, it's not a big deal, it's just a paper thing, then his salary's gonna go to $150,000. I thought that was a big increase, and anyways, I'm pleased to welcome his family to Lapeer. I'm looking forward to having a director to oversee our library once again. And I believe he's a good choice and will guide our library system very well. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
And I will address that, Leslie, if you tell me what you said again, something like I'm incompetent. Is that right?
I said you asked a blatantly illegal question, which you've already been advised of.
Right. I talked to the lawyer about that.
And your response was, I'm sorry if I was politically incorrect.
That's right, that's what it starts.
Politically incorrect is not the issue.
That's
Being
where it all
illegal is
started.
the
Okay,
issue.
let's bring it to order.
All right, like I said, kind of a intense back and forth there, but nevertheless, hopefully we can all make sense of it together. It's worth paying attention to. Ms. Brown brings up her reservations about the salary. That is worth noting too, that they hired a director at either maybe $140,000 or $150,000 when the prior one was only getting $110,000. Maybe there's a good reason for that, maybe not, I don't know. But again, these things are worth noting because we're talking about our money and we don't want to see our officials throw it around, right? Of course not. I'm not saying that they are, but a jump like that isn't insignificant by any means. And by the way, I just noticed this sweet cord here, so maybe that adds a little charm to this video, probably not, but please forgive me, I'm doing the best I can right now. So this next clip is equally intense, as again, we have another public comment that leads to a back and forth with the township supervisor, Dan Engelman. And it's even more, again, more tense, more intense. You pick the word, you tell me the word, leave the comment, but it's pretty heavy. It's not something I expected to see when I checked this meeting out. Again, I don't know anything about Dan Engelman. Maybe he's a great township supervisor. Maybe he's justified getting upset. But there is another clip after this one that I'll talk about, and we'll just go from there.
Anybody else?
Kyle Powers, Mayfield Township. I think Leslie touched base on everything that needs to be said about Mr. Frisch. I'd kind of like to know where he's at too. Haven't seen him, haven't heard from him. It'd be kind of nice to know what we're paying for. We pay an accounting firm to do his job. He's not here to do his job. Whether he be here at a meeting or in the office. I'm working during your guys' hours, so I can't check and see if he's here and see what he's doing. So it'd just be nice to know where he has been, if he does have health issues himself or a family member has health issues, can have empathy for him, but he needs to be here doing his job for what he's being paid for. I can't not show up to work and not get paid. Why should he? Secondly, I'd like to address, during our public time, some people like to interject with their thoughts at the time. Even if you don't agree with what people are saying, you should wait for them to finish what they're saying. It's our time to speak, not yours. We're not allowed to interject during your guys' meeting. So you should not be able to interject and or have any sort of discourse towards us while we're speaking. It's our time. That's all I got to say.
You know, I'll comment to you. If you got something to say to me, and you tell me you're a man, say it to my face instead of going behind my back to people you got no idea who you're talking to. Did you?
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. If you're not man enough to come and talk to me, you go behind my back and say stuff about me. Okay?
Yeah, you're a
Leave it
coward.
at that, because you know what I'm talking
You're a
about.
coward.
You know what I'm talking
What
about.
are you talking about? Say it.
All right.
You're a man. Say it.
You can
You're a
hide it.
coward too.
Go
You're
to
a
your
coward. Dan's a coward.
job. Okay.
You're a coward.
Your 3 minutes are up.
All right, so now that you've seen the back and forth, I'm going to show you the final clip of this video, and this one makes me uncomfortable. It's the best word to describe it. And you know, the video is recorded from a distance, so it's hard to say exactly what's happening. But the township supervisor, Dan Engelman, I think, right? I don't know. I'll say allegedly. Again, I'm learning. I'm trying to piece this together, so I'm asking you to help me do it. But I think we're talking about the township supervisor, and he confronts one of the women, maybe a couple of the women that spoke, and it's uncomfortable. I don't love it. I don't know everything that's happening as far as Mayfield Township, but there's enough in this meeting that kind of has me intrigued. You know, sometimes I think people get a little carried away in their emotions, but at the same time, I don't have all the facts, so I don't want to pass that judgment. I think it's important that we all maintain our composure at all times as best we can. We are, you know, always setting an example for the younger people coming behind us, and just politics have gotten so tribal and ugly, and that's what I dislike the most about it. So while I'm not going out of my way to pass judgment, I'm really gonna, again, I'm keeping score. Everything I watch and share with you guys, I'm keeping track, I'm paying attention, and I just want to see our civil servants represent us in the right way and make good decisions. It's none of this is about who I prefer, who I don't like. Nothing's personal. This is all trying to add another layer of accountability. I think it's important. I think it's more important than ever, and I think you guys do too. That's why you're watching. So anyway, thank you so much. It might be a minute before I see you again. Maybe not, because there is a city commission meeting. I guess it would be Monday the 16th as far as Lapeer City Commission. And of course, I'll at least be watching. How up to making a video on it I'll be, we'll see. But in the meantime, thank you so much. This is Hashtag. I'll catch you next time.
Actions have consequences, and I'm going to be sorry.
I didn't say that.
I don't know why you're so upset. No, I don't. I have no idea why your blood pressure is like off the charts right now. So you're refusing to meet with one of your constituents again.
I forgot to do it.